welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for younger gamers by gamers. I'm Bajo.
And I'm Hex.
And I am D.A.R.R.E.N.
Alright, calm down, Darren, calm down.
Oh, sorry, my CPUs are just overheating a bit. I haven't shut myself down since yesterday. I'm so excited about today's robot games!
Yes, all right, Darren, don't have a meltdown, but yes, we will get to control the Mars rover and explore the red planet in Take on Mars.
Curiosity rover was quite the life of my last data processing party, regaling us with stories about the X-ray spectrometer.
Oh, sounds like a wild party, Darren. We're also going to have a look at the puzzles of Unmechanical.
Even more robot action on.
Right, well, I'm going to go read the news.
What's going on back here? Some dodgy wiring, maybe.
On.
Bajo here with the Spawn Point news from around the world. Minecraft creator Marcus Notch Persson has announced he has stopped development on his ambitious space game 10 to the Sea. Notch claimed he had put the project on hold back in April due to creative difficulties, but decided to completely cease work on it to focus on smaller scale games. A group of fans plan to take the idea and make their own game out of it, but won't be using the name or any of Notch's work. And finally, New York-based artist Baron von Brunk has created LEGO recreations of Nintendo 64 components, including the console, controllers, and game cartridges. But there's more than meets the eye, because they're actually Transformers. The console itself is known as Ultra Hexacon, the controller is Tetragon, while the game cartridges are Hotshot and Mecha Kong. Amazing! Back to the studio!
Robot action on.
Here it is, it's your vocal chip, it's all dusty.
Thank you.
Unmechanical is a mysterious little game. It stars a plucky little robot who has to solve puzzles to escape from the underground. We don't know his name or why the other robots are picking on him. But I warmed to him quickly. In fact, I found his quirky little personality rather endearing.
Oh, Bajo, she's clearly a female X280 series. Male X280s are more of a purple colour and have upturned rotors on their cranial propellers.
As you explore these caverns, your little robot is continually blocked by locked doors. And as you'd expect from a puzzle game, they never have a simple door handle. To solve the puzzles, you'll need to use her tractor beam to pick things up and pull levers.
Affirmative. Some puzzles require you to remember simple sequences like these coloured lights. Your robot needs to turn the lights back on in the right order. But honestly, robots eat memory tasks like these for breakfast.
Well, us humans can find them a little challenging, and I actually thought these puzzles were quite clever.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it when a game is just difficult enough to make me feel really clever when I figure out the solution, and that's how I felt here.
Oh, can I talk about my favourite puzzle?
Let me guess, Darren, it's the one about lasers.
Negative. I was talking about the one where I used mirrors to reflect beams of light that were amplified by the stimulation of emitted radiation.
Hang on a sec, Darren. Light amplified, stimulated, emitted radiation? I think that spells laser.
Affirmative. I was giving you a puzzle of my own. Glad to see you solved it.
I get up pretty early in the afternoon to solve this, Bajo.
Yes, all right, guys. I really liked the fact that this game really walked you through the puzzles well, but I was also glad to see that there was a handy hint system. Tapping the question mark at any point creates one of these thought bubbles, and they give you some handy clues. So what are you scoring at, Bajo?
Well, I enjoyed the puzzles, and I thought it was the perfect length too. Not too long, just a good size for this kind of game. So I'm giving it 7 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, I had fun as well, and I think they really succeeded in giving this little robot a surprising amount of personality, so I'm giving it 7.5.
As much as I admire X280's pluckiness, a mute robot clearly needs a serious systems upgrade.
Well, every robot needs a good maintenance person and an expert builder.
In fact, Goose went out to meet a man who does just that for fun.
Over to you, Goose.
Thanks, guys. Yes, I'm here to meet Angus at his workshop, who builds his very own combat robots. Let's see if he's in. Hey, Goose, come on in. Thanks, Angus.
So Combat Robots pitches 2 remote-controlled machines against one another in a specially designed arena for 3 minutes. So these machines have to basically destroy or incapacitate their other opponent within those 3 minutes. So they could either do that by completely destroying the other robot, or they could flip it on its side so it can't move anymore. And the first robot that does that to its opponent wins.
How did you first get into building robots?
So back when I was in high school and about 15 years old, me and my friends discovered a computer game called Robot Rage, which was a Flash-based computer game. I remembered the Robot Wars from TV. So I thought, actually, is that still going on? You know, is that happening in Australia? So I did a search and actually found Robo Wars Australia.
So where do you get your inspiration from?
You pretty much get into a mindset of you look at almost everything as you're walking around and think, can I build a robot out of that? So I'll be walking around and see plumbing pipe and think, could I make a chassis out of that? And you sort of start picking and choosing things that would be used for completely different purposes and use them for combat robots. Pretty much every single combat robot has the same main core system. They have the remote control system, which is essentially the same as a remote control car. And then the batteries, you need, of course, a battery to power the machine. You need some form of locomotion, so that could be for the really small robots, little motors, gear motors, or for the bigger ones, it could be cordless drills. Once you have those parts, you need to control the motors, so you have the speed controller. And you interface all those bits together, and then you've got a working platform.
Wow, okay, so these are your robots, Angus. Can you take us through your collection?
Yeah, so I've got 4 machines here. So this is the chopping board test platform.
Okay.
So this is what pretty much every robot builder should start with making. It has electronic speed controllers, a battery, and this is the receiver. So this is how we communicate to the robot with the transmitter.
Okay, and then we lead on to this one. So what does this one do?
Yeah, so this one's called Fugu, and it was a bit of an experiment actually. The idea is to keep other robots away from the chassis. Its weapon is actually like a flipper, so it's not going to damage the other robots, but it might stack them against a wall.
Okay, right. So what's the tiny one over there?
This is FLS. It's a tiny little 150-gram ant weight combat robot, and it's extremely small and light, but these machines can be really quite impressive to see fight because they're so tiny they just ricochet around the arena.
Okay, so he's obviously a lot lighter compared to this guy. I want to know what's this one all about.
Just slightly. This is a featherweight combat robot called Roadkill, and it's all made out of welded steel, which was just sort of fabricated up from bits I found around the place and added an axe to it.
That's the main thing I'm looking at here. So this, how does the axe work?
So you're not going to actually do much damage regarding cleaving the steel in half, but what you're going to do is actually, when you hit them, you'll do shock damage.
Okay.
And that's what actually predominantly destroys the robots that you're fighting, because you might knock a connection loose or break a small component, and that's what will stop the other robot.
What are some of the rules for Robo Wars?
There's no projectile weapons, no explosive weapons, no liquid weapons, and no energy weapons.
So no lasers?
Absolutely no lasers. There's a huge range of people who get involved with Robo Wars. Personally, I'm now an industrial designer, but when I first got into it, I just loved tinkering with things and building machines. We have some people who are in IT. We have some people who are fully qualified engineers. And then we have high school students who actually more often than not, win against the fully qualified engineers because they can pick up a remote control and drive these machines like no one else.
Well, aside from organising, what's your favourite part about Robot Wars?
Oh, there's nothing that compares to the adrenaline rush while you're competing with the robots. I guess that's probably why people keep coming back. Once they actually get their machine in the arena, even if they lose terribly, they'll just be laughing and smiling and just having an absolute great time.
Okay, Angus, we've got a pretty competitive robot back at Good Game, and he might be interested in competing in Robo Wars. What advice would you have for him?
Okay, he needs to be fast.
Fast, okay.
And strong.
Strong, yeah.
And brave.
Oh, brave. Okay, well, that's good advice. I'm going to get started on the training.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Come on, Darren, give me more than that. I know you've got more.
Harder than that. I can't even feel a thing. Pump it, pump it, pump it. Duck and weave. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Come on, Darren. Easy, Darren. Another 50, you'll be fine.
Oh, I could do this all day.
Oh, okay, wow. Oh, it's quite heavy, Darren.
Come on, Darren.
Hex, do you think Darren is actually going to risk damaging his precious electronics in Robo Wars?
I'm not sure, but we do have questions that need answering, so let's get on with that first.
Okay.
Starting with this one, we have from Connor, the vampire slayer, who is in Barjo's mouth. Ew, in New South Wales.
Do you want to have a look?
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Hi Hex and Barjo. What do you mean indie game and developers? Thanks. P.S. I issue a challenge to Hex, Barjo, Goose and Darren. You may accept or decline. Please do these faces at the same time to the Super Mario theme. Well, we don't know where Darren is, so let's just give this a go, shall we?
We'll just do it together.
Yeah.
And we'll just roll the Super Mario theme in the background.
Okay.
Okay.
Lost it a bit towards the end, Hex, but I think we did our best. Have fun and always stay awesome. Connor the Vampire Slayer.
Well, Connor, so there's usually two groups involved when a game gets made. One is the developer, they're the people that actually design and code the game. The other is the publisher, and they provide the developers with the money that they need to make the game, as well as advertise, manufacture, and distribute the game to all the different shops so that you can buy it.
Yes, and when we say indie game, we mean it's made by an independent developer. And by independent, we mean they don't release their games with a publisher. They usually invest their own money to get the game made, and then release it to the internet direct to gamers to save on the cost of marketing and physical discs and all that sort of stuff.
Minecraft is actually a really great example of an indie game, since it was made mostly by just one man and then released onto the internet with no publisher involved.
Yeah, it can be a slightly confusing term though, since independent studios do often use publishers. For example, Microsoft stepped in to publish the disc-based version of Minecraft. But that doesn't mean it's not an indie game. Likewise, Journey for PS3 was published by Sony on the PlayStation Network, but it was actually made by an indie developer.
But hopefully that helps you somehow, Connor. Let's move on now to this one from EnderKills0909 in the Netherrealm, South Australia. On Portal 2, my game auto-saved as soon as I died on a turret level, and I can't stop dying when I spawn. Banjo, do these. Yes, there aren't many things more annoying than being stuck in an autosave loop of death, is there, Barjo?
Yes, it's definitely up there in the contenders for most annoying thing, generally. But Valve are a clever bunch, and they have put a very simple but effective solution for such a problem. So if you go into your load game menu, you'll see there are actually two autosaves. The one at the top is the most recent one, which is getting you killed, but if you select the one below, it'll take you back to the autosave before, and hey presto, no more insta-death.
You will lose a couple of minutes of progress, but it shouldn't set you back too far. Let's move on to this one from Minecraft Noob in Minecraft Land, Queensland. Hello, I have a problem-y with me Minecraft. I can't make babbies with my aminals. How to make babbies?
Well, Mr. Noob, I think we can help you out there. So first off, we'd recommend building a little spot for your animals to live. Just build a bunch of fence pieces like this and make a nice big paddock for them.
Then, of course, you're going to need some animals. So the key to getting animals to follow you and eventually breed is to use the right kind of food. Each animal responds to a certain food. Cows and sheep like wheat, pigs like carrots, horses like golden apples and golden carrots, wolves like meat, cats like fish, and chickens like seeds.
So if you have all the right food, all you have to do is go up to the animal with that food in your hand, then it will start to follow you once you get its attention. Then just lead it back to your ranch and secure it there, and then go do it again because you won't be making babies with just one animal.
Once you have two of all of them safely secured in your ranch, just feed them both their preferred kind of food, and they'll enter into love mode, which is pretty easy to notice since loads of hearts start floating above them.
Once in love mode, they should get nice and cozy with each other, and within just a few seconds, a baby should appear. Oh, so cute.
Just note that you'll need to wait 5 minutes before you can make the animals go into love mode again. But good luck with that, Mr. Noob. Let's move on to this one from Ben101 in South Windsor, New South Wales.
Hi there, GGSP. I need help with this, the most wanted racer, with the Benghetti Veyron in Need for Speed Most Wanted. So can you give me some tips how to beat him? Barjo, you are cool. Hex, you are a better gamer than Bajo and D.A.R.R.E.N put together.
Well, Well, Ben, we can definitely give you a couple of tips that might help. So, first things first, make sure whatever car you're taking into the race is a fast one. We managed to complete it using the Lamborghini Aventador that you would have unlocked from the previous Most Wanted race.
And of course, make sure you've completed all the races for the car so you've got all the upgrades you can get. We'd recommend going in with an aero body, a lightweight chassis, long gears for higher top speeds, and it can be a good idea to equip re-inflating tyres since the cops like to drop spike strips. Cheeky cops.
Yeah.
Although if you think you can dodge them, track tyres will give you a bit more speed.
Then it's just a matter of learning the track and racing well. Other than that, you can always try and play dirty and take down the Veyron if you get the chance.
And you just keep at it, Ben, and I'm sure you'll get there in the end.
All right, next we've got this
Oh,
one.
Hex! Hex! My Bajo senses are tingling. I can sense that D.A.R.R.E.N is up to no good. I don't think he's in training at all. I think he's trying to steal take on Mars from the mailroom. Oh!
No!
Yes! Yes!
He was pretty
Emergency.
excited about playing the Rover. All right, let's look for him.
Okay.
If you've got a question you'd like to ask us, then you can go here and send it in.
Yes, all right, okay. I'm gonna go check the mailroom. You check on Goose.
Okay. Mailroom. Goose. Oh, where is Goose?
Yeah, what can I get you?
Hello, Mr. Mailman. Have you seen a robot around here?
Yes, I have. Not today, though.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Bajo from Good Game, and I believe you have a package for me.
Yeah, sure you are. New policy. If you're going to collect a package, you're going to have to fill out these forms.
Oh, but I can see it. It's right there. Oh, okay.
Initial there. There. There.
Robot associations? Does that count toasters? 17 of them. There, done.
I think you spelled Bajo wrong. You're going to have to do a new form.
Oh!
All right, D.A.R.R.E.N, good session.
Affirmative.
There you guys are. Come on.
Okay, I think you're ready, D.A.R.R.E.N.
Affirmative.
You can put your arms down.
I can't. They're stuck.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
nice robe, though.
It's good, isn't it? Okay, D.A.R.R.E.N, this is it. Remember your training. Attack the motors and the main circuit boards, and you'll be fine. Get in there, D.A.R.R.E.N.
Affirmative, Goose. I feel ready to rock and roll.
Go, D.A.R.R.E.N, go. He's a wrecking machine.
All right, you're going down. You know that, right?
Oh, my public! They all love me!
I've got to get a feel for his fighting style. That's a tickly-looking axe he's got there.
Come on, Dad.
Stay away, stay away.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I didn't ask for this.
Oh, D.A.R.R.E.N, fine.
Take this. Horrible.
Oh, D.A.R.R.E.N. No, oh, God, I got one.
Charging my laser. And he's gone.
D.A.R.R.E.N, I said no energy weapons. You're disqualified.
That's not fair. I can't believe I got disqualified. I didn't even use my laser at full strength.
It'll be all right, D.A.R.R.E.N. Just a few modifications. You can try again next year.
Oh, finally I found you guys. What's wrong with him? Oh, well look, I know what to cheer you up, D.A.R.R.E.N. Mars Rover game.
Well, let's play. Unlike the Mars rover landing game that came out last year, which was more of an educational and promotional tool wrapped in flailing Kinect movements.
I'm in the circle. I'm in the circle.
Bajo, now for the hard bit.
I'm out of the circle.
I'm getting a slightly erratic reading from you.
Sorry, I ate a very large sandwich.
Take on Mars aims to simulate NASA's operations and puts you in charge of it all. From mission control, you can launch missions from the world map, construct landers, and play this weird arcade thing.
Attention. Failed.
Yes, that is tricky, but there's no time for silly games when there's exploring to be done. The best part of Take on Mars is the launch. Initially blind, you hear the burn of the lander's jets. Then all of a sudden, the canopy falls away and you can see the Martian surface racing up towards you. As you're plummeting towards the surface, out pops a parachute to ease your fall, and then you can sit back and enjoy the view. And the first time you do this, it's quite exhilarating.
Well, that's if you use automated landing. Exhilaration quickly turns to panic if you attempt manual landing. They rarely go well. Oh no. Oh, correct yourself, correct yourself. Oh, this is not gonna go well. Oh, this is going badly.
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it.
Once you manage to plonk yourself safely on the surface, exploration can begin. Missions consist of analysis and recording through photography, as well as atmospheric scanning. There's a wide array of cameras, power modules, and scanning gear, enough to get any technology appreciator excited.
The idea is to discover as much about the surrounding area as possible. Completing missions and objectives earns funding for your organisation. You can use these funds to unlock new zones or construct your own landers.
Controlling the machines can be a bit tricky, and with no tutorial, it can take quite a while to figure out what does what. My first mission was at night, and I had no idea what was happening. I just sat there pressing buttons wildly until finally I found the night vision button, which let me see. Turns out I'd crashed on landing.
Some of the landers are stationary, which means that all you'll need to control the instruments. And while that sounds simple, not all of the missions are entirely clear. How do I scan this rock?
When you finally get behind the wheels of the rover, you'll notice it drives a little bit like a slow, rusty tank. Who would have thought that something so small could be so cumbersome?
Yes, roving around the deserts of Mars can be mighty boring. It's nice that most missions have a launch point for new landers near points of interest. However, once you've launched all of your available rovers, you'll need to start taking long trips to get to points of interest. If you damage or abandon too many vehicles before completing areas, you can quickly run out of funds for more rovers. And this means you have to load a previous save or restart the campaign.
On the easier mode, you can adjust the time of day on Mars so you can choose whether to undertake a mission in day or night. The benefit of completing missions during the day is that the solar panels will constantly be recharging your power, making long-distance exploration possible. But again, those long drives are dull. If only they had rocket boots like me.
In addition to the main campaign, you can also jump into pre-arranged scenarios, such as this one where you start in an emergency landing sequence and have to try and recover before impending disaster strikes. They're fun, but, you know, short-lived.
There's also a level editor which lets you design your own scenarios to tackle. There's a decent amount of options here, but to be honest, I spent most of my time flying around in free cam mode, soaking in the radiation.
Guys, I love space and space exploration, and I love how serious this game takes it, but it just doesn't translate into being very much fun. And after a few hours, once the shine wears off, this becomes a very limited gameplay experience. So I'm gonna give it 5.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, after that initial buzz of being on Mars wears off, there's not a whole lot this sim has to offer that makes you want to go where no man, woman, or spawnling has ever gone before, so I'm giving it 5 out of 10.
On a side note, the game is nothing like the real thing. You can never properly simulate the incredible feeling of wind rushing through your antennae as you surf the dunes on Cydonia.
I'll pull off a jump, turn, 777, 20.
Darren, you've got some pretty sick tubular radical moves there. Hey, you've been to Mars. Tell me, are there aliens there?
Yeah, are there aliens?
NASA's asked me not to talk about that.
Oh, fine. Well, that's all the time we have for this week's Spawnlings. That ended up being quite the robot special in the end.
Oh, affirmative. We could do this every week.
Don't know about that. Coming up next week, we're going to have a look at Rayman Legends.
Rayman is a French creation, the brainchild of Michel Ancel.
Oh, is he from French Perth?
Negative. He's from French France.
Well, until next week, may all your games be good ones. Hex out.
Banjo out.
Darren out.
Now come on, Darren, tell me, what happened at Robo Wars?
Rather not talk about it, Bajo.
Well, it wasn't all bad, Darren. Remember, you did meet someone special.
Ooh, affirmative.
So, do you come here often? Oh, stop. Oh, no, you're too kind. Say, I could show you the stars, baby.